Hey guys, Tone Fernandez here, coming to you live from Chicago, Illinois. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the follow-up process. Last month in our business, Veronica and I were able to onboard 5 new agents in our business. The reason we did that is because we had a really tight follow-up process that we followed, basically to the T. One thing that we noticed was a flaw in the past in our business was, we prospected and we met people, but a lot of stuff fell by the wayside just because our follow-up process had a lot of leaks in it. So the process for us is, have you guys seen some of my previous videos? One of the things that we do is we use multiple strategies in order to meet people, to connect with people, and to find the need of them wanting to, do something else and start another business, or to get into business, I should say. So, as we do that, we meet so many people, we connect with so many people online. That 2 months ago, I said, you know what, I really need to filter a good follow-up process. And as soon as I implemented this process, what I noticed was it was just a cleaner way of following up with people where, nothing fell by the wayside. We were able to, have a good follow-up method. And we were able to, recruit 5 people. And the month before that, it was 3 people. So, we've been seeing success with this follow-up method. And I know many of you, some of you are in affiliate marketing, network marketing. And you guys basically are looking to also bring on board and build your business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'm going to share with you this quick thing that I created. I'm going to show you how it works. So the first thing is I created a simple spreadsheet, nothing fancy. It's not automated, but it's more for my purposes in order for me to kind of take all those prospects that I have in my head and not leave them there, to dump it on here. So the process for me, how it goes is as soon as somebody shows interest in, what I do, I usually have an exposure for them. It's either a video, it's either a webinar, it's something where they can see, or a Facebook group, right? And in that Facebook group or on the video, it explains what I do. And basically the whole process is, for them to get educated using a third-party tool. So that's a lesson on its own, because if you have to sit with everybody to educate them on what you do, you're going to create what we call a bottleneck in your business where everything has to rely on you. So if possible, use videos and use presentations in order to educate people. So once people show interest in what I do, they say yes, I get them to agree to watch the video. So for example, if I was prospecting somebody on Facebook and they say, yes, I'm interested in learning more, I say, great, if I send you a video, would you watch it? Once they say yes, I would watch the video, then obviously I send it to them and I put their name. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you what I do. Jim Johnson, right? And then in the first field, in date 1, I just document the day that I sent them the video. So it would be, say it was, today. So 11/20/2020, right? So then in my head, I know, okay, the first step of the process is putting the date that I reached out to them. The second step is following up. So a lot of times when I send people a video, one of the main things when I send them an exposure is I always set a follow-up date. So for example, let's say the Jim Johnson here, I sent them a video today and he agreed to watch it. I would just say, hey, I'll follow up with you, or when can I follow up with you? And typically people will say the next day or 2 days later. That's the average that I've seen. I've never seen anybody extend it longer. So I'll say, great, I'll follow up with you that time and date. So number 1 is you want to make sure that they agree to the follow-up time. They created the date. So then what ends up happening is that day I go on to social media, I go into my inbox and I message them. And I simply say my first message on date 2 is, hey Jim, just wanted to follow up as I promised. Did you get a chance to watch the video? As soon as I send that message, I put next date, 11/22/2020. Once I send him that message, there's 3 things that are going to happen. I'm either going to get a response, I'm not, or he's going to tell me, no, this is not for me. So if he watched the video, if Jim watched the video, said, yes, I did watch the video, then I'm going to get his feedback and kind of chat with him about the video. If Jim didn't watch the video, he says, no, I didn't watch it, then I'm going to get him to recommit. Hey, when can you watch it by? Or if Jim doesn't respond at all. So if Jim doesn't respond at all, then I go to date 3, which is 2 days later from the follow-up. And I wait 2 days, and then I go through my list here and I see, oh, look, Jim has another follow-up. He hasn't responded. And my next follow-up is pretty simple. I try to re-engage conversation. One of the big mistakes we see with people following up online is, did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? Hey, did you watch it? Hey, did you watch it? And there's no structure behind the follow-up. So then it goes from being a follow-up to being almost bothering, nagging, and harassing people to see if they watch the video. But what happens is, if you clean that up and make it more professional with something like this, then you have more posture in business. So this third date, which is my second follow-up, hey Jim, sorry I've been busy. I didn't have a chance to follow up with you. How are things? So I'm taking it away from them. Even though they didn't respond to me, I'm saying, hey, I'm sorry I've been busy. And then I don't mention the video. I say, how are things? Now, once I send that message, I go into my system and I go, okay, it's my next date. Is the date that I sent them the message. And there's a few things that can happen. He can respond, hey, I'm doing well. And then I can ask him, by the way, did you watch the video? Because my goal was to get him to re-engage. He can say, no, he didn't watch it. And I can say, hey, no problem. When can you watch it by? Get a new commitment date. Or number three, what happens sometimes is they ignore you and they don't, or they didn't see the message. So then if he didn't respond, then I wait another 2 days and then I send them a final message. In this final message, I like to title the takeaway. What the takeaway means is just basically saying, hey, Jim, listen, if you hope all is well. If you did watch the video, or if you change your mind, you're not interested, no big deal. Just let me know so I can go ahead and scratch you off my list. So it's the takeaway, hey, I'm going to go ahead and scratch you off my list. So what ends up happening there is, from my experience and why I was able to recruit more people is, by the way, once I send that message, I put the date 11/26/2020, and I give it some time. I give it a few days for them to respond. And the reason I did this is because one of the big flaws on one end we see people do is they just constantly follow up, right? They don't have like an end date or a process. And if you start to become annoying, the other reason I did it is because when, you get kind of an anxiety in your head when you're constantly following up with people and you don't, there's no response. So this kind of puts people in a bucket. And what I do at this point is, let's say Jim messages back, hey, I'm not interested. Great, no problem. That relieves me from constantly having to follow up with him. Or he may say, hey, I'm so sorry, and he may want to re-engage. And he may say, yes, I'll watch it today. Or he may say, yes, I'm interested. Let's get the ball rolling. Or he may ignore you again. So what I then do is I've sent 4 messages within the course of about 6 days. So if Jim doesn't respond, I go here and I just label him with his bucket thing here, a color, yellow or orange, I should say. And what happens is I know that all the orange people on my list are on my 3-month follow-up. So what happens is, as I start building and there's more people added to here, I can see, okay, Jim is my 3-month follow-up. And in 3 months would be December, January, February. So I already know that in my calendar, Jim is going to be a part of my 3-month follow-up. And by the way, what I'm going to say to Jim is I'm going to say, hey, I know you're good. I know you're fine. But listen, I'm going to do what we call update deflection. I'm going to update him on something that's going on. And then I'm going to say, by the way, who do you know that may be interested? So a lot of us work with companies that have updates and trips incentives, and we have different things that are going on. So I just update them. Hey, Jim, hope all is well. I know you're good. But listen, my company has this, Hawaii trip going on right now. I just wanted to know, who do you know that may be looking to go to Hawaii for free if I show them step-by-step how? Now, what'll happen is Jim either will re-engage and say, well, you know what? I'm back in the game. I want to learn more. I want to get into this. May not respond, or he may give you a referral. So either way, it puts me closer to getting, a result. So the more you build your list, the more you're going to have people who immediately respond and come on board, people who immediately say no, and then you're going to have another list of 3-month follow-up. Let's say that Jim here said, no, I'm not interested. I would code him red, because I would know that I would be able to differentiate somebody who said no or somebody who just didn't respond. Okay, this guy wasn't a responder. So I can approach them in that manner in 3 months from now. I always follow up with people, even who say no. Hey, listen, I know you're good, but listen, we got this going on. Who do you know? So I'm still going to build a relationship with them. And by the way, if Jim would have said yes and came on board, I would have coded him green. Now I know he's one of my business partners. So this 4-step process allows you to build a list. Like right now, my actual list has about, 100 and something, actually a few hundred people on there. and I'm constantly building it every day. So what ends up happening is I don't care about the result. I just care about constantly feeding that list and following up with that list. So I hope this helps you clean up yours. I know people use paper, they have notebooks. I know some people who use a fancy CRM. The reason I like this is because it's easy access. It's only for recruiting and it's pretty simple. And then I can add notes here, and I created it in 2 seconds. So if you like tips like this, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notifications on when I post videos like this.